Yo, Twinkie, hold up.
Jeez, I'm coming. Here's your appetizer, one order of deep fried free thought.
Alright, and today we're serving up a new dish. Looks like YouTube's got a new policy in their terms of service as far as offensive videos. Twinkie?
Yes, they now have a policy saying, and I quote from their site, "We encourage free speech and defend everyone's right to express unpopular points of view, but we don't permit hate speech, speech which attacks or demeans a group based on their race or ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, veteran status, and sexual orientation/gender identity." Sounds good on the face of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but I see a small problem.
Yeah.
In case you hadn't heard, Thunderfoot, one of the regular video bloggers that we watch, had 4 of his videos flagged and removed under this new terms of service.
Which to me amounts to nothing more than censorship.
Exactly. One of the one was had absolutely nothing to do with religion that I saw on it. The other 2 were talking specifically about the person who had dropped docs on him, and he was talking about them, and those 2 got flagged.
Yeah,
And
before we
don't remember
go
what the
any
4th
further, I think we need to clarify something.
Okay.
And that is that government free speech guarantees don't apply here. YouTube is a corporation.
Right.
It is not the government. It doesn't have to abide by the same free speech regulations as the government. And so, YouTube has the right to have policies like this and to enforce them however they see fit. However, what we have a problem with is the way in which this is being enforced, and the example here is Thunderfoot's videos. There's really no rhyme or reason. It's just like somebody flagged it and was offended, so therefore they took it down, and with no chance to appeal.
Yeah, and that's like you said, that's it's being misused. It's being misinterpreted and misused.
Well, it seems like it to me. I mean, after all, it's very reasonable to not want videos and content that call for violence to be done to someone or to a group of people, something that would incite violence or encourage people to do harm.
Right.
But by the same token, when you attack ideas, when you criticize beliefs, that is totally different. That is what the core free speech is all about. And I fear this new policy and the way that it's being enforced blurs that line to such a degree that pretty soon everything's going to be taken down from YouTube because everything offends someone.
Exactly. And we're even in the crosshairs, I guess you would say, of this. Our denominations in Dixie, should someone of a particular faith that we covered under our denominations in Dixie, if they don't agree with our interpretation or
something we said,
how
we presented it,
they can immediately flag it and it'll get taken down.
And we can't appeal. There's no grounds for appeal.
And I find that a slight abuse of power.
Well, it's a step too far.
I understand why it's there. I understand why they're going to this kind of policy. There were several death threats that were made. In particular, Jessica Alquist had some videos that were made and basically calling for people to hurt her or rape her, or there was several retaliations that were made on YouTube, and they got flagged and taken down. And YouTube's really pretty good about doing that kind of stuff. But
yeah, so I mean, the system that YouTube had, was it working? And if so, why add this policy to it? What's the purpose of this policy? And how do they really think they're going to enforce it fairly?
Right. Well, what's changed? What's changed recently to require this policy to be put in place?
Yeah, good question. I mean, why the need to do this, and why the need to just let content be at the whim of someone's hurt feelings? There's nothing that I can say that won't hurt somebody's feelings out there somewhere. So like I said, we might as well just dismantle YouTube and take the whole thing down right now, if that's the way it's going to be. However, I have a feeling that's not going to be how it turns out, because you know as well as I do that if a lot of atheist sites start getting taken down, what's going to happen? Retaliation.
Yeah, exactly.
Nathan and I could sit here all day and go through the AFA and Brian Fisher sites and flag every one of them underneath this policy legitimately and have them all removed. You know,
Yeah.
if we wanted to do that, and that's...
And not just the AFA. There's several other.
Pat Robertson, James Robinson, them talking about the secular atheist dictatorship that's taken over. You know, that just offends me because it's bullshit.
If they're just outright lies.
Just because I said that word. Yeah. So we could take down every religious site. We could take down a lot of conservative political sites. We could take down all kinds of things. These family organizations, these pro-life organizations, we could just sit here and flag all their stuff and take it down. But I don't want to do that.
It's not it's not pro-life. It's forced birth.
Yes, forced birth. Thank you.
And
Forced birth
parenthood.
and parenthood. But my point is that I think we need more speech, not less. And YouTube has really got this one wrong.
Yeah. And even this video itself, just out of context. The conversation that just the commentary you just had, basically the AFA could flag this particular cast as offensive and have it taken down and banned.
Yeah.
Because
I said I could do it, not that I would.
Could.
Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous how this policy is unenforceable, unsustainable. And I don't know what it's going to evolve into, but I don't see it standing in any shape or form in the way it's at right now. I mean, there are other places people can go to with their content, and I hope we don't have to do that, but we might. We might be forced off YouTube. So, it's just something to think about, and, if you're a YouTube user and, you have a stake in this, it's good to, if you want to mirror Thunderfoot's video, we'll give you the link to it, or anything that gets taken down if you want to mirror it, or spread the word and let YouTube know.
Exactly. Get it back out there. Get some feedback back to the corporate heads.
Yeah, and put pressure on them so that they have to find a way to clarify this and to look at these cases honestly and not let people abuse the system just because they're offended. We all have to live with being offended. That's the price of free speech.
We may find out that it was an overzealous moderator.
Maybe so. Maybe that was just a fluke, but knowing YouTube, I'm very skeptical.
Yeah. Something else to keep in mind there, one of Thunderfoot's videos, I think we'll have a link up to it, he mentions that there's a gentleman that was in his traveling plans.
Yeah, from Malaysia.
He was diverted to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Because of 3 tweets that he made, and this basically because of what he said and the religious offense of it.
Yeah, and I mean it was just the most moderate thing you could possibly think of, but the Muslims were offended, and so now I don't know if he's going to be executed.
He's facing death.
Yeah, death penalty. And honestly, I mean, you really need to watch Thunderfoot's video and see the things that he tweeted. They were so mild and blatantly non-offensive to anyone with any kind of sense. The reaction from this particular segment of the Muslim community is just ridiculous. And one thing that makes me angry is how we always hear about these radicalized people. We never hear about the people who are living here who abide by our law and do right. But that's another subject entirely. But
exactly.
I just had to throw that in there for a minute.
Something else to pick up on later.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a problem. I mean, granted that we're not facing death for the work we're putting out right now, though I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people that would like to see us disappear, but there are places in the world where free speech costs them their lives. And here it's getting to the point where you can't even put a freaking video on YouTube saying anything, or somebody starts crying, "Oh God, I'm so offended. I can't stand it. Mommy, make it go away."
Change the channel.
Yeah, so I mean, people seriously need to grow up and mature some, and before they join the public square. This is just so frustrating.
Alrighty, well, finish our pie and get out of here.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have heartburn after this one. Gotta
Yeah.
go take a Zantac.
Zantac, here we come.
Yeah.
Hey, Twinkie, we're not making any money you sitting around talking to other customers.
All right, all right. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for this course today. But keep checking back in with us for our daily specials and appetizers and our main course soon to come.
Main course, what you think this is? Three-star restaurant?